Okay, so I just finished reading Marvel Team Up number 91, Spider-Man and Ghostrider. Really cool cover. Johnny Blaze Ghostrider riding over the top of a roller coaster. And great title, The Carnival of Fear. So, obviously, I bought this mostly because I'm a Ghostrider fan. Obviously, I'm a Spider-Man fan. Who's not a Spider-Man fan? Um, so let's open it up. Right off the bat, it's very obviously a Spider-Man story. I think all of these Marvel team ups from this time era are, predominantly Spider-Man stories featuring other characters, no matter what they say. Even if they say and, it's always like plus barely a little bit the other character. And I kind of knew that going in, but you know, I was expecting a little bit more. So this is kind of a strange issue if you read mostly Spider-Man, you don't read a lot of the team-ups, and if you're not familiar with like Spider-Man from the 70s, because in this one he's dating, or not really dating, but he's going out with his friend Glory Grant. I think she's the only black girl Spider-Man's ever dated. So it's kind of cool to have this issue where he's, going on a date with her. And anyways, they're going to a carnival that just happens to be where she lives, so she's invited him to come up and go. And the carnival ends with them going to this sideshow where this magician is like introducing all these like sideshow freaks. And if you can see here, the sideshow freaks that he's introducing are, like a Spider-Man type of guy called the Amazing Six-Armed Spider-Man. Blazing skeleton kind of thing that kind of looks like Ghost Rider, and something that looks just like Man-Thing. And he even makes a comment that, that can't be the real Man-Thing, and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, he introduces each of the characters up on stage. This is the Flaming Skeleton guy, there's the Man-Thing. It doesn't really pay a lot of attention to the Man-Thing, so we're not really sure whether that really is Man-Thing or not. And it doesn't really pay a lot of attention to the Spider guy. Obviously, it's paying attention to the Flaming Skeleton, because Peter Parker seems to think that it's Ghost Rider. And he even shouts something at the guy, being like, hey, that's Ghost Rider, what the hell? So it gets him thrown out of the carnival. Let's get through the ads here. Great looking pictures of Spider-Man, by the way. A lot of these, kind of negative pictures of him where the webbing's red and he's black because the lighting, it looks really cool, really moody. And he uses his spider flashlight belt at one point in this one, which is pretty cool. He doesn't use that a lot. So anyways, he gets kicked out. He decides to go back as Spider-Man. He doesn't really say how he ditches his date, but he does. And he goes back, and when he goes back, he's confronted by, the magician guy who, whatever, and all of his henchmen. And for some reason, his henchman, which the naked Ghost Rider-looking guy, actually was Ghost Rider. So you actually see Ghost Rider naked without his suit in this comic book, which is really weird, because I don't think you see that in any other Ghost Rider comic books besides this. So yeah, Ghost Rider's naked in this issue. But so he starts off and he fights the human Spider-Man guy, and he jokes about how he has the same name as him and everything, defeats him like really easily. Then he sees Ghost Rider, kind of tries to fight Ghost Rider. You think he's going to beat Ghost Rider, but it's the real Ghost Rider, so it's not happening. Ghost Rider doesn't really say anything, and he does make a comment about why he's not talking to him, even though he does have all of his abilities. He creates his health cycle out of Hellfire and all that. And then we find out that it's because the Magician is actually a previous Spider-Man villain here, Moondark the Magician, and he died because of Spider-Man. So guess what? Spider-Man does kill people sometimes, even if it's just by accident. And he sold his soul to like this Cthulhu-type entity, not even to the devil, so because everybody sells their souls to the devil in Ghost Rider comics. And that thing gave him the chance to come back, and gave him the ability to like suck other people's souls out. So he's got like this orb that sucks people's souls out, and then he's also got this ring right here. And inside his ring here, I don't know if you can see or not, is Johnny Blaze. And he says he has Johnny Blaze's soul in his ring, which, that's kind of cool. But also kind of lame, because Johnny Blaze is awesome, and his soul should never be captured by some idiotic magician. And then here is his orb right here, too, full of souls. So Spider-Man tricks him and stuff, like Spider-Man always tricks people. And even though he gets captured and tied up, he still manages to like break free and web up the magician guy, and sorry. And he's able to yank his ring off and shatter it, and he's actually not even sure what's going to happen. Like, he thinks that he yanks it off and shatters it, and it might, like, kill Johnny Blaze, and Ghost Rider will just be Ghost Rider sans Johnny Blaze for a long time. So he's kind of ballsy in doing that, but it works out for him anyways, because the ring shatters, and then Johnny Blaze is actually able to return to his body, so it becomes, you know, like, the way Ghost Rider is normally supposed to be. So he kind of, like, regains his consciousness, and he's like, why would you do that, blah, blah, blah. He attacks the magician guy, and Ghost Rider's, like, pretty overpowered at this point in his own comic book, so, like, he's able to overcome the magician pretty easily by shooting his hellfire at the orb, because for some reason the hellfire doesn't affect the magician. I guess it's because he doesn't have a soul, because he sold his soul. So he shoots out the orb explodes. All of the souls in the orb return to all the carnies and stuff like that, and look at this, we get this nice, like, Iron Man cherry fruit pie ad here, which is pretty funny. So all the souls return to all the carnies. That Cthulhu-type monster, even though it doesn't really look like Cthulhu, I'm sure that's the type of thing it's supposed to be, appears and is like, you were going to give me the souls of all these hundreds of people, plus Ghost Rider and Spiderman, and now you don't have crap, so I'm going to take you back. So he takes his body back. So essentially, in the end, he dies again. You know, so, like, way to go, Spider-Man, you killed the same guy twice. And you didn't even really need that much help from Ghost Rider. And then it has this really cool, the end right here, which ends in Ghost Rider's eye. And Spider-Man has this little conversation with himself where he says that he wonders if Johnny Blaze being outside of Ghost Rider's body for so long has made Ghost Rider more cruel, which it may have or it may not have, but that doesn't really seem to pan out in the comic books or anything like that, so I guess we will never know. Anyways, if you'd like to review, let me know, and I will post another 6 or 7 minute review of another one of my issues.